All right. Well, just in time for us to talk about the game of the week, we have our Cougar representative, Trevor, a Saturday's Warrior. He is in the house. Let me get him up here on screen. How you doing, Trev?
Hey, what's up, guys? What'd I
All right.
miss?
Well, we've been solving the world's problems, basically. But this is why I wanted you here. We're talking about the game of the week, which is for some reason at 11 a.m. All right. BYU at Texas Tech, number 8 versus number 9. So hyped for this game. I think this line is a little bit rich. I do think Texas Tech wins personally, but what is y'all's take on it? Let me get the Texas Tech take, the BYU take, and then our third party brownie to weigh in as well.
Well, I think, and this is going to be a shock. I think Texas Tech not only wins, but I think they cover the 10.5-point spread. Bear Bachmeier, first of all, BYU got way the better end of that deal when it comes to just quarterbacks in general between him and Jake Retzlaff. Bear Bachmeier is a really, really good quarterback. And BYU was a team that I thought they had all the pieces. They really just needed a competent bus driver after Retzlaff did his whole thing. And Bachmeier is a bus driver. He's got his CDL. He's ready to go. And he's just been phenomenal all season. We touched on this earlier, though. BYU has not faced a defense like Texas Tech's defense. Texas Tech right now sitting at 8th in the country in total defense. The edge rush of Romello Height and David Bailey. I compared Bear Bach. I don't know why I want to call him Brett. Bear Bachmeier, all-time great college football name. Bear Bachmeier. I compared him a lot to Avery Johnson at Kansas State. He's got a cannon for an arm. Just can absolutely sling it. And he's really good in design runs, but he's just not a great improviser when the pocket collapses. And so I think what's going to happen is he's just going to run into a buzzsaw with this edge rush that Texas Tech has, and he's just not going to be able to overcome it. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Texas Tech to win 38-20. It's a big spread, but I just don't. Texas Tech hasn't allowed really more than 20 points a game for all but one game this season. I just don't think. I think Bear Bachmeier's being a freshman. I think his inexperience is going to come into play here, and I just don't think he's going to be able to overcome what's coming for him on the defensive side of the ball with Texas Tech.
Go ahead, Trev.
Yeah, this is, no question, the best team and the toughest test that BYU will face all season, at least definitely to this point. And, but time and again, Bear Bachmeier has risen to the challenge. Each week he continues to, it seems like he has his new best game, and it's only going up against more difficult challenges, better teams, better opponents, more difficult situation. Not only will Texas Tech be the best team, this is in Lubbock, and so it will be, no question, a very difficult test. I think this is one where I agree. If it becomes a shootout, I don't know if BYU's probably not built necessarily to win a shootout type game with Texas Tech, but I think if BYU can slow Texas Tech down, grind it out, kind of control the pace of the game, that's where BYU excels and has continued to find success. And then you're looking at a team like Utah. Like, Utah doesn't not blow people out until they didn't, and then they lost those games. And so Texas Tech had similar situation, when all of a sudden they got slowed down a little bit and weren't able to blow a team out. All of a sudden, they looked very beatable. And I'm not, obviously the quarterback's a different situation. You get Baron Morton back, and we'll see. The big question, I would feel like if BYU was completely healthy, I'd feel better, but everybody at this point in the stage in the season is beat up and banged up and missing key guys. And so that's not really an excuse. That's just, when BYU is operating with all its pieces, because that's kind of what BYU relies on, is a bit from everybody, not like one single position, not one single phase of the game. And so when you start seeing cracks in that, all of a sudden, their ability to achieve, what they've continued to do all season, you can start seeing some cracks in that. However, in the last game, LJ Martin went out and BYU found a way to win through the air. And so, again, this team continues to find ways to adapt, find ways to win. And so I'm expecting a really good game. I think it'll be closer than that. I don't think it'll be a blowout. Like I said, if Texas Tech does find ways to continue to put up points, I don't know if BYU keeps pace, but I think BYU can grind it out, keep this one close. And if this is within striking distance, I really like BYU's chances in a game like that. Having said that, I haven't thought of a specific score prediction at this point, but I mean, obviously I'm going to pick BYU, but I think this is a hard fought one. And I think it's going to be a close game, come down to the wire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Brownie, before you speak your piece, let me put a bug in your ear here, because Trevor said something that I had actually been thinking about. So there's two ways to look at this. Number one, that BYU, Bear Bachmeier specifically, has not played an environment as tough as Lubbock, right? So that's obviously a very tough challenge. This is the best team that BYU's played all year, like you're saying. And also, Tech has not faced a defense as good as BYU's, right? I truly believe that. Tech has not faced. Now, Tech's defense is very good, yes, and it's probably true that BYU's not faced a defense that good. But could this end up being a defensive ball game when we're all thinking that it's going to have to be the shootout? What's your take, Brownie?
God, this is going to be kind of a hard and weird one for me. I personally was not overly impressed with the way that Bear Bachmeier played against Iowa State. Iowa State's defense was injured. We didn't have any of our secondary. We were short a lot of linemen. We kept the running game in check. I mean, when Bachmeier ran for 49 yards and is your leading rusher, and he was also passing for 307, and realistically, the game really got out of hand because of the multiple turnovers that Rocco Beck had, especially that pick six that really kind of turned that table full kilter to where Iowa State was just never going to come back from that. It's kind of hard for me to say that it's going to be an offensive game for BYU. I think that it's realistically going to be how BYU can stop Texas Tech's offense and not necessarily the other way around. I think that matchup is going to be the one that decides the game. And realistically, I think it's also going to be the turnover battle. Whoever has the most turnovers is probably going to be the one that loses. And I mean, yes, 9 times out of 10, that is the actual case where you win the turnover margin, you win the game. But some teams have that ability to overcome that turnover margin. And I just don't think that if Tech digs themselves in a hole for turning the ball over a lot or not being able to move the sticks, I don't know if it's going to be enough, because BYU is very, very good at time management on offense.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can do the whole, like, yeah, we're going to force Bear Bachmeier to throw the football. Like, we're going to apply pressure. We're not going to have him run. I mean, all of his completions are short dinks unless the defense gives him something long. And if you let him sit there, you let him scramble, you let him set his feet, you let him make those short passes and let them stay in bounds and keep that clock ticking, it might be a low-scoring game. And that's just solely because of the clock management from BYU's side. So I think that it's going to be a lot of pressure on the Texas Tech offense to make sure that all of their offensive possessions really hit home and they get the 7 points at the end of the day instead of having to settle for 3. And for BYU, I think it's just going to be force Texas Tech to have fewer than 8 possessions.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a good freaking game. I don't see Texas Tech covering the spread, because I do think that BYU's defense is going to give them a little bit of help, but I do think Texas Tech is going to win this game. I think Lubbock is a little too much to overcome for a true freshman quarterback. Again, we saw Bear Bachmeier. Iowa State jumped out to a huge lead in that game, right? The last time when he was playing in Ames. And of course, then BYU was just able to take control. here you got two heavyweights, and I think just it's a little too much for the freshmen to overcome. But future is freaking bright in Provo, and
BYU is dangerous.
I'm going to
for a
hate
long
every
time.
single moment of that game next week. It's not going to be fun at all. Okay, I'm going to be up at like 1 a.m. just miserable and pissed off.
Yeah.
If this could also be a preview for the national champ or like the Big 12 championship game.
It could be.
We thought it was going to be Tech in Utah and then Tech and someone else, and then Tech kind of got knocked out, and it was going to be Arizona State and Cincinnati. And now I've been saying for a while that BYU is a sneaky good team and just didn't have a lot of games to really hang your hat on, but then getting one over Utah a couple weeks ago and then beating Iowa State as soundly as y'all did. I mean, BYU is the real deal for sure. Counterpoint, though, to what Brownie said.
Not very many L's left.
Counterpoint, though, Jacob Rodriguez. He had 2 forced fumbles in the game last week against Kansas State. 5 turnovers total for the defense. If there's an edge going for any team when it comes to creating turnovers, it's definitely Texas Tech in this game.
Well, that's what I was going to say as well. Is BYU, that's somewhere that they've excelled at, and in creating chaos and creating turnovers. And people like to point it out to luck, but at a certain point, it happens so frequently that it's not luck anymore. And you happen to have Texas Tech happens to have a single guy who, 7 forced fumbles with interceptions on top of it. So it's incredible. And so I think turnovers is going to be a major component of it. And I do want to disagree with Clint on just one thing. Not that it's a tall task, not anything, not even on his take that he thinks Tech will win, that he said it'll be too much for the freshmen. And I don't think if BYU loses this game, it's necessarily going to be on Bear Bachmeier. I think it's going to be the other pieces around him. I think it's going to be, I think BYU wins as a complete team, and as everyone does. But the BYU wins. People don't like it always because it doesn't look as sexy because we're not dropping tons of points on people like you're used to, like a Tech, like Utah does, and otherwise. But it really is just a complete cohesive effort. And so when that starts slipping away, when you can take the team out of that rhythm and where they're not able to kind of use that synergy between different units on the team, then that's when I think you're going to be able to slow down BYU. And so, Bear, I've just been so impressed with him. I don't know. He's just on another level in terms of his mentality, and I don't see him getting overly rattled. If he does, maybe comes out, shakes it, but he'll shake it off and he'll be back in it. And I think he's going to make a lot of plays to keep BYU in this game.
It's not going to be this year, but in the next couple of years, Bear Bachmeier is going to be a Heisman candidate. I mean, he's one of the best freshman quarterbacks that I've ever seen, period.
And he better still be wearing 47 too.
Yeah.
He's like Avery Johnson, a glorified running back, but he can actually pass the football.
Almost like a quarterback.
He knows.
Whoa.
It's been
Avery
hard for Iowa State fans.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? Trevor said something. He's talking about people accusing BYU's defense of being lucky with turnovers. Listen, man. A legendary coach once said, luck is when hard work meets opportunity. Baby.
There you go.
It's better to be lucky than good sometimes, though.
Well, that is also true. That is also true. All right. Any other final thoughts on this game, gentlemen?
Texas Tech wins because they enjoy caffeine.
Caffeine.
Fired, bro.
It's going to come down to which offense can break the other defense, ultimately. And I'm not 100% sure which side that's going to be. It's just going to be who can handle the moment better. It's going to be tough for Texas Tech, too, with game day coming back. I mean, there's a lot of pressure riding on this game. But that's what Joey McGuire talks about is pressure is just opportunity.
Opportunity leaving the body?
Yes.
Like that. Not
leaving, no.
Yeah.
That's Iowa State this year.
Yeah.
Along with other things.
Yeah. All right, boys, tell everybody, tell all the folks at home where they can find you. Trevor, you go ahead.
All right, I'll go ahead. You can find me. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube with @SatsWarriorBYU, and that's where all my content is. So I just try to get out there, do live reaction shows after the game, as well as previews of the week leading up to it. So, you find me.
Chris.
Well, you can find me at Flatland_sports on Twitter. Also, the official Flatland Sports Podcast on YouTube and the live post-game show on X. You can also find me on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere you search Flatland Sports. I'll be there.
Come on, Brody. Tell them again.
You can find me in Dallas-Fort Worth on Thursday through Sunday.
Ready to fight.
Yeah, I will happily fight people. At WRNL Brownie on X and on Blue Sky. You can also follow our main channel, Wide Right Natty Light, on X. Join our Discord. We have a whole bunch of weird things going on right now. There's a lot of copium in that Discord, so you should join it and add to the fire like I do.
Yes. Hey, I need 18 more of you at Big 12 VOCFB. It's been crawling across the bottom of the screen this whole time. Subscribe, baby. Subscribe to the show. Help us grow this thing. We're trying to hit 1,000. We are so friggin' close. Help a brother out. Follow me on Twitter at Clint_Foster55 and my personal YouTube channel at Clint Foster Creations. There it is right there. Clint Foster Creations. And check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And follow the Voice of College Football on social media. And check out the Voice of College Football bets as well. I'm a dummy and I didn't play the ad, but y'all have seen it before. Come on, it's fine. Okay, so check out Voice of College Football bets. And until next week, I love you. I hope your team wins. And go Big 12. We'll see you around.
Wreck 'em.